I'm going to talk briefly about Glenview doors. Glenview doors is one of our main entry door systems, and I used to have this massive display in this space, and we've taken that display down, and it's actually going to our showroom in the Colony area because that's where our higher end projects are. And so we wanted to get our higher end doors closer to the higher end projects so that they can really see and experience Glenview on a different level. What makes Glenview unique? Well, it's a Polish company. They're actually out of Chicago, the northern part of Chicago, in the Glenview Heights area. The owner of Glenview Doors is also a luxury custom builder, and he had struggles 20 years ago with trying to source doors to go into these brownstone homes that he was building in the northern Chicago area that would stand the test of time. Ice damming and other issues that they struggle with, and cold climates didn't have a good counter for that. Around 2006, made his first Glenview door and continued to perfect that. Even through the recession, they continued to grow that company and have given it just a great name. Glenview was one of the most innovative products. 2 years ago at the International Builder Show, they got most innovative product and truthfully got bought out by a distributor called BMD because they were so cool and so innovative. What makes them innovative? Well, nobody's taken a lot of time to address front doors and give a new bent on them. And so when we think about front doors, when you think about your front door at your house, it's probably a mahogany entry door or a knotty alder entry door, because those tend to be the two. If it's stained, it's going to be one of those two. And it's your traditional 2-panel or a 4-panel, or it's got glass, maybe it has wrought iron on it or whatever. You know, those are just tired, and we offer those doors, but there's no creativity that comes with that. And what Glenview did was say, hey, how can we make that entry door better? Because the other thing we know about those entry doors, you know, an 1.75" mahogany or knotty alder door, is without maintenance, those doors fail fairly quickly. They dry out, they begin to leak air, they begin to dry rot, they begin to split. I know you've experienced that with your home. I've experienced it with my home. Glenwood was determined to come up with a new way. Now, their doors cost about twice as much as a standard entry door. Sometimes 3 cost as much as a standard entry door, but they call it a lifetime door. What do they do with that? Well, these are various door slabs that they offer, but if you notice one common theme, we talked a little bit about this with the Contemporary Collection earlier, LVL construction to stabilize these doors so that they're not solid panels. You've got that LVL construction. They also put aluminum U-channel in place in there and embed that into the LVL to add rigidity and strength. If you look at the exterior surfaces, it's a veneer. It's actually a plywood veneer that comes pre-finished from the factory. You can't get them unfinished. They're gonna come pre-finished no matter what, but they do that so that they can boast of this being a lifetime door. Your responsibility will be to condition and maintain that finish. And as long as you do that, the door will last forever. One of the things that they got that we hadn't talked about yet is they do a core-filled foam interior on these doors. Why? Well, because every time my interior and my exterior communicate, hot and cold communicate, I get this vapor drive. Well, if I can infuse foam within this space, foam is a great insulator, right? So you think about your QT styrofoam cup that you get your soda in, and it'll stay cold for hours and hours. That ice will not melt. Well, that's kind of the same concept behind this. They introduce foam in here along with their LVL core to give these doors a whole lot more stability and allow them to perform better in cold and hot environments. And so, great company for us. They've got stock doors, over 1,000 profiles that we can get in 4 to 5 weeks. Or if we want to go full custom, we're pushing upwards of 20 weeks, 22 weeks, coming directly from Poland. That's where they're going to manufacture them. So when we talk about aluminum cladding, if you look at this door, look at the thickness of that cladding. Yeah, most cladding on a window, any of these manufacturers we have, is going to be nickel thickness or less. This is a 1/2" aluminum panel on this door. It's set up on an ultramodern door, but I call it the bulletproof door. Don't really know that it would stop a bullet, but I'd like to think that it's a lot more secure than that traditional wood door that you got in your opening. And it's going to stand the test of time. They do these doors in pivot door configurations, arch door configurations, the all wood finish. They do concealed hinges for their swing doors. In that display that we had here that we'll have up at our Colony showroom, I've got a 4 by 8 concealed hinge door that's got Tectus hinges on it, which are really, really cool. Italian, European, you know, they do all things better than us. America, we want big box for a little price. Over there, they want quality because their structures last for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so I wish we had a little bit more of Europe in America, not their politics, but their quality of construction and where they want to go.